This is Snap Sports Podcast. That's right, I'm back. Got a new name. We're going to try this again. Snap for Sports News and Predictions Sports Podcast. So, without further ado, no music right now. We're doing this on the mobile side of things. So, I did not do a week one. However, I did send my week one to a buddy. So I do have it in a picture of what I picked and who I picked. But I haven't posted anything publicly to anyone out there. I'm not going to go through what I picked. I did not pick for Thursday's game, so I'm calling that a tie. Or really, I'm just not going to count it. But for the other games from this past Sunday, the first week, I am 10-5. All right, so now we're going to get to the main point, the main focus of today's short, very sweet, to the point podcast, and that is week 2. So tonight, it is September 17th. Tonight we have the Bengals versus the Browns. Now let me get this positioned right, because we are on the mobile side here, so that I can write as I talk. Alright, let's get this down over here. Alrighty. So, week 2, here we are, Thursday. Tonight at probably 8:15, 8:10. I did not write the time down. And of course, all times that I mentioned are Eastern Standard Time. So, Bengals versus the Browns. This is a hard one. I really do not pay attention to these guys at all. None of them. You know what? I'm just going to go out there on a hunch. And I'm going to go the Bengals for this one. So I'm circling the Bengals. All right. Sunday. Now I do have some times. For the 1 p.m. slot, this is 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday. We have the Giants versus the Bears. I'm going to go the Giants. We have the Falcons versus the Cowboys. You know, as much as I really want to pick the Cowboys, they really looked crappy. So guess what? I'm sorry, Cowboys, but I got to go with the Falcons on this one. All right. So the Lions and the Packers. You know what? I'm going to pick the Lions. I don't think so. I'm going to pick the Packers on this one. Hold on while I shuffle back. So we're going to visit that Falcons and Cowboys again. I got to look at last week. Let's see. I know they held the Seahawks pretty good, if I recall correctly. But, you know, obviously they didn't come back with the win because the Seahawks did win. Yeah, I'm going to still go with the Falcons on that one. All right, so moving on, we have the Jaguars versus the Titans. I'm going to pick the Titans. We got the Vikings versus the Colts. That's kind of a close one. It really is a close one, in my opinion. You know what? As crappy as the Vikings did look against the Packers last week, I'm going to have to go with the Vikings on this one. I think they're going to get their act together. I don't know, though. Man, did the Colts win last week or not? As I have to shuffle this around again. Oh, let's see. Did the Colts win? Alright, the Colts did win, but they only played the Jaguars. So you know what? I'm gonna eat my words right here. I'm picking the Colts. I'm really thinking the Vikings, so I'm gonna star that one. Because I'm thinking it's the Vikings. I do this every podcast that I do for predictions. I star about 1 or 2 games where I think it's going to go one way or the other. All right, Bills versus Dolphins. I'm picking the Bills. Broncos versus the Steelers. Big Ben versus Drew Lock. You know, Drew Lock definitely looks solid with the Broncos. Watched a little bit of the game. I'm totally having a brain fart on what the score was, if they did win or not. You know what? I am going to pick the Broncos. Panthers and the Buccaneers. You know what? Everyone's like, ooh, Tampa Bay, Tom Brady. Ooh, they lost game one. Well, yeah, you have to look who they played. They played the Saints. The Saints are stacked. They're good. They're awesome. I don't know about this year, or this next game, because the Saints did lose Thomas, I believe. Probably for a week or two, that ankle injury. Maybe he will play. I think he's a game time decision, is what I think really his status is. Because I think they're just leaving it open. So back to the Panthers versus the Buccaneers. I'm going to give Tom Brady some luck. All right, now 4:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have the Washington football team versus the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going to have to go with the Cardinals on this one. And the next slot we have is for 4:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as always. And that's going to be the Chiefs versus the LA Chargers. You know, after that performance that Patrick Mahomes did last week Thursday, I mean, you can't go wrong. But the Chargers looked pretty solid too, for the Chargers being the Chargers. But you know what? I still have to go with the Chiefs. Ravens versus the Texans. I know everyone is going Ravens like all the way, because the Texans did lose to the Chiefs. It took Watson took him a good portion of that game to get going. I don't think he was super horrible, considering, again, everyone had to come out of a zero contact, preseason. It was just right into the games, and here we go. I mean, some teams were just better and prepared and did awesome, and others, they had to get their feet wet a little bit before they really got rolling. So, back to the Ravens and the Texans. I really have to go with the Ravens on this one. I'm going to star this one as I really just want to pick the Texans because I think Watson can get his act together, and I believe they could do it. But I am picking the Ravens because that's where everyone else is also picking as well. So, yeah, I gotta go with everyone else. I'm picking the Ravens, but I'm starring that one because I do kind of want to pick the Texans. Alrighty, so then the night game for Sunday at 8:20 p.m., which is the Patriots versus the Seahawks. Man, that's a very tough call, 'cause they played the Dolphins, New England did. I mean, it's the Dolphins. I don't think they're the worst, but definitely like my Lions. I think they're at that bottom of the barrel for sure. Seahawks, they are definitely a contender in the game. A strong, solid. They always, have their crap together, basically. This is one where I'm going to take the Seahawks. I'm going to take the star away from that Ravens and Texans game. I have this feeling that the Belichick's going to pull out of this one. I have that feeling, but really they played. This is going to be the first big testament of how the Patriots are going to do. I'm going to star this game instead because I have that feeling that Belichick's just going to pull something out of his magical hat like he always does. But, yeah, I'm going Seahawks on this one. Yeah, I got to go Seahawks. All right, then next week, Monday at 8:15 p.m., it is the Saints versus the Raiders. And this is another one where, this is another one that could also be a star. 'Cause I don't think the Raiders look too horrible. Actually, I'm thinking of the Chargers. Um, I gotta pick the Saints in this one. That's really a no-brainer. Yeah, I haven't watched any of the Raiders. There's a few teams that I haven't watched of the Raiders is one of them. But so yeah, that's the lineup right there. So as far as teams that I really haven't watched for week one was the Bengals and Browns. Didn't watch too much of Giants. Let's see, who else did I not really watch a ton of? Who did Panthers play? I forget who the Panthers do play the Jaguars. If they played the Jaguars, I didn't pay much to them. Let me go back to look at last week. As we're rolling down here around the time. Who did they play? No, Colts played the Jags. Yeah, I didn't watch any of the Colts or the Jags. There's a few teams that I did not pay attention to. I was mainly paying attention to people that were on my fantasy teams. I did watch some of the Patriots and Dolphins. I watched the Saints and Tampa. Yeah, there's a few teams that I haven't really paid attention to, so I really don't know. I haven't looked at any condensed, how they did on YouTube. I should do that. Normally I do this on a Saturday night, but I got a busy schedule coming up, so I'm just going to roll this all together on the Thursday action. Because after all, I am a Mr. Predictor, hopefully to be 2 for 2 when the Packers win the Super Bowl. If you did not witness that, you can find that on YouTube. Just search That Exciting Dude Predictions, and you'll probably get last year's, and you should get this year's with that search. If I remember and do it correctly, I might try to put the link into this podcast. And also, you could be listening on YouTube, because if I do this correctly and import this correctly, this should go straight to my YouTube, so you'll just be able to find it within my videos. Again, that's if I do it correctly. I got it. This is the first one out of the hatch, so it's kind of like that test dummy podcast too. So I'll see if I do it right. See if what I did wrong and what I didn't do. So yeah. So again, there's no music. So all I'm going to say is we are done. We are done with this podcast. You see, I told you a little bit of how my week one was on a very quick 10-5. I'm not counting Thursday's game because, like I said, I didn't get my week one out at all. I was too focused on getting my video out for my Super Bowl prediction and a few teams that I kind of critiqued out. So, yeah. So, a little bit earlier, you just heard my week two. I do have, like I said, 2 start games, which is that Vikings and Colts, and then the Patriots and Seahawks. I'll just definitely say that the Seahawks and the Patriots, it's definitely more of like an 80 Seahawks and a 20 Patriots. But that Vikings-Colts, that's like a straight down the 50-50. Yeah, that's straight down the 50-50 pipeline. So, I don't know what's going to go on with that game, the Vikings and the Colts. I mean, from what I saw with the Vikings against the Packers, they really didn't do too much. They're not allowing Cousins to throw the ball too much. But, so anyhow, this is Snap. So hopefully you will continue to listen to more Snap podcast on whatever provider I end up sharing this to, between Spreaker, YouTube, Spotify. Hopefully I'll get iTunes out there. iTunes, Apple Tunes, a couple of the other big ones that are out there. All right, I'll catch you later.